So I'm a big fan of nickel-plated brass. It's pretty cool. I'll talk about this a little bit. But welcome everybody, BigGunner81 Live, presented by Applied Arsenal Finishes and Gunworks. Can't even speak, stumbling on my own words. Spin to Precision out of California. You can check them out, spintoprecision.com. They got a lot of awesome barrels and accessories for the AR-15 platform, as well as the Glock lineup of pistols and so forth. They got slides and barrels for those. Eagles Munitions, if I didn't mention that yet, out of Colorado. They make some really nice polymer-coated projectiles, so if you're reloading and you want to save some money, check them out, eaglesmunitions.com. Who else am I forgetting? The Ranger 355 out in Bolingbrook, Illinois, of course. Our good friend Pete out there with probably the best indoor shooting range in Chicagoland has to offer. Definitely want to go check them out. Range 355, like 355.com is their website. Check them out on Facebook as well. We got some stuff we're going to just talk about today. We kind of have an open gun chat we normally do, but I got a couple topics we'll talk about. First off, I was going to mention this because it's in my hands as I kind of open the show up. It's kind of hard to see, but the coloring on the screen here with the camera may be a little misleading. It is nickel-plated brass. This is from Arms Corps. You might know Arms Corps. They're also part of Rock Island Armory. This is a 38 special round we'll be testing out. It's because I'm going to forget what it is. It's 125 grain, 38 special, full metal jacket. Just reading it right off the box. These just came literally today from our friends over Rock Island Armory and Arms Corps. And very soon I'm going to get off to the range as soon as I can. You can see, safety checked. Test out their M206, I believe. M206 right on the barrel. Duh. I always want to say M209. I don't know why, but it sticks in my head every time I think about this pistol. I get the 6 and the 9 all screwed up. But looking forward to testing this out as soon as I can get a chance to get back to the range and so on. But yeah, cool stuff we got coming up. Hoping to go to SHOT Show, but I'm not so sure that that's going to happen this year, partially because my next thing we're going to kind of talk about a little bit, and that is my recent purchase. Kind of cut into my budget for SHOT Show, but I think was well worth it. May have seen if you've been following along the BigGunner81 Instagram page and on Facebook and so forth. This is the Henry Repeating Arms Golden Boy, as you can see. This one is just a 22, and it can take a 22 long rifle, 22 longs, and 22 shorts also, which is pretty cool. I'm looking for. I actually ordered some CCI. There's 22 shorts that they have. I believe they're like 700 feet per second, but they're supposed to be really quiet. And I thought it'd be something kind of cool to experiment with and just use for plinking. Definitely high quality. I love this thing. Can't wait to go shoot it and just hear kind of how smooth this is, or you can kind of hear it. You hear some of the mechanics of it moving, but it just feels very smooth. So you got to take my word for that part. And a nice little click as it locks into place there. Very simple rifle, but very elegant. Love the octagonal barrel here. Made right here in the U.S. Made in New Jersey. All American components. The whole slogan and the whole mantra of their company is, made in the USA or not made at all. And just the beautiful maple, wood they use on this thing, and everything just, really nice, high quality components. I already mentioned the barrel, but it's just kind of a cool thing. And any of the marks you kind of see on the camera is just all my fingerprints all over it from playing with it. But looking forward to getting that out to the range and testing it out soon. More to that story is that, I have a video I'm working on, kind of doing like an unboxing and talking about the experience of picking that rifle up. And I said this before, and one of the things that's really special about this is, Henry Repeating Arms was something that me and my father talked about before he passed away. Actually ordered a catalog from them just kind of for him to flip through, and I had nothing else going on, and just kind of check out and look at it. We kind of talked about it a little bit. And I always thought it'd be kind of cool to get one of these rifles, just something totally different, especially in the world of AR-15s that you guys see all the videos and stuff that we do with those. and I do enjoy my AR-15s, but it's kind of like a refreshing classic to have in the collection. And it's something that I'm going to keep in like kind of like a tribute to my father in a sense too. I really would have loved to buy the they have a railroad edition, like a tribute to railroad workers type thing. That would have been really awesome to get. Of course, it was out of my price range, and I don't know if they had one in stock, but when I say they, I guess the other part of the story I didn't explain yet. And for those on Instagram, Facebook, probably saw some of it. This past weekend, even before this past weekend, Laura actually brought up to me that shared this on the radio that, hey, Anthony Imparato, the owner of Henry Repeating Arms, is going to be out at this store called Nichols Store. It's a gun store out in I want to say Rock Hill, South Carolina. If I'm messing that up, apologize. But they're out in South Carolina, and he said, yeah, he'll be here signing, his autograph and stuff and whatever. And so that'd be pretty cool. Get one, maybe see if I can get him to sign it and whatnot. So we went down there, checked it out, and found out beforehand too that he was not signing the actual rifle, mainly because worried about it, wiping off on the wood and stuff and not holding up and everything. So he was signing the boxes, which is awesome because the box has a serial number for the rifle and everything. And it's a cardboard box, but just something kind of special and neat. And so I ended up deciding to buy one. And of course, I also was looking at the previous to this, looking at their big boy, which they have a 44 Magnum and a couple other calibers and stuff available in that. And actually shot one at the Iraq Veteran 8888 shoot, and that was a lot of fun. And I just was like, yeah, man, I really would love to get one of these. But it was a little bit pricey and out of my range, so I figured, hey, you know what? I'll get one of the Golden Boys, but definitely want to get the brass finish. So I want to spend a little bit extra and get the brass finish because that's really the classic look to these things. As Kent knows because he has one of these as well. And believe it or not, so I'm looking around and talking to ladies like, hey, behind the counter, she's like, hey, can I help you? And told her I was looking at and asked her if they had any more left. And she's like, well, let me go check. She's like, I'm not sure. We might have sold the last one already. Luckily, they had the last one off in the corner. She's like, I'm not sure if it's for someone or not, but I'm going to check and see what I can find out. She's like, it doesn't look like it's for someone. It looks like it's the last one we have. And I'm like, all right, let me get it. So end up getting the last one. That was kind of cool. Just like it was a totally meant to be type moment. And I got to meet Anthony and sign the box and everything. So it's kind of cool. And I'm looking forward to taking this thing out to the range and testing it out and everything. Especially with 22 ammo being so inexpensive comparatively to other calibers. I think it's a great plinking round, something to have fun with. And, we've got a few other things that are 22s in the stock, like the 1022 Gatling gun and things like that. But I'm still excited about that. That's a lot of fun to play with. But this almost feels more exciting too for some reason. I don't know how to explain that. They're both awesome and unique in their own ways. So
it's a really sweet rifle, man. My wife fell in love with it.
Awesome.
Matter of fact, I lost mine now. I think it's hers. So.
What's mine is mine, and what's yours is mine.
Yeah, I should have never given it to the combo to the safe. That was a fucking stupid move. But other than that, it's great, dude. Balance as well. It shoots well. We were talking.
First lever action I've owned too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. I think I only have one bolt gun and one lever action gun now at this point. And as far as that goes, and so I'm excited. I'd love to get one, like I said, in like a 44 Magnum or something like that, or similar. And the one I shot at the Iraq Veteran 888 range day, just the accuracy, I was really impressed. I mean, for using the iron sights, how well I could actually shoot the thing. Nailing steel out to 100 yard zone or whatever it was. Just with that and never having shot one before, I'm pretty happy with it and pretty impressed with that. Definitely. And by the way, too, just a reminder, everybody out there watching, currently we're streaming this live over on our secondary channel, which is the BigGunner81 live channel, live with an exclamation point at the end. They don't really have. I haven't figured out what the direct link is to that channel. It might be some really long, weird one. I'm not sure yet. But you can always search for BigGunner81 live, and it'll come up, in the search, whatever on YouTube. But we're doing that right now temporarily, kind of. Just kind of going a little pull back curtain, kind of talk a little about this. Again, we had a strike against our channel, lost the ability to go live or stream live on the BigGunner81 channel. So I set up a secondary channel called the BigGunner81 live channel, where it's just strictly all the live feed videos and so forth. And if you're watching this on the BigGunner81 channel, it's probably because we downloaded it and copied it and re-uploaded it to the main channel later on. So people who are subscribing there that may not know how to find the link here can also see it. Eventually, excuse me. Eventually, when that that ban gets lifted in a sense, which will probably be next month sometime, we'll probably go back to live streaming on the main channel and then uploading the videos onto the BigGunner live channel just to have a secondary channel open for it, just strictly for the live shows and stuff. The other things I'd like to do with this is also eventually take and just strip the audio and do a podcast. I haven't figured out what platform to use for that and so forth yet. That's something that's in the works. I got a lot of little fires that are going, and fires in the iron, or irons in the fire, or whatever. Screw up that whole analogy or whatever it is. But anyway, that's one of them. We're also working on the 50 states of AR15.com website, adding stuff here and there as we go to kind of get it populated and get it updated. A lot of our focus has been on that lately, more so than getting the rifles done. But we're trying to shift that focus back to getting some more rifles completed for everybody. We're looking for some components for Missouri, Texas, Washington State, and Georgia currently. Those are four of them that we're really trying to push to get ahead on, and also Colorado will be on that list here as well. And then I, of course, have a bunch of other receiver sets too for other states that we got to get going on. But I want to get some of those because they're kind of closer to completion than the rest of them at this point. And what else we got? The other thing too is VidMe. Recently we found out about VidMe, and as soon as we found out about it, they're pulling the plug. Vid.me is the website currently. We started a channel on there and started uploading videos on that platform. Looked very promising. It was starting to grow and take off. And then, of course, they pulled the plug on the VidMe, website, I guess. And they're saying they're going to be relaunching in some other way or something, or some changes, but who knows what they're doing with it. For now, though, it sounds like after the 15th of December, 17, it's going to be gone. There's another one we just started a channel on, which doesn't have anything on it yet. We really just opened up the account on viralherd.com. That's another place that a lot of gun channel people are going over to. Always interested to know your thoughts, all the people out there watching and listening to this, as to different platforms to use for social media and for posting videos and things like that. Because honestly, YouTube's been one of the best, as far as most common, has the most traffic and all that kind of stuff. However, they're not very gun friendly. There's a lot of people on here, and a lot of people that want to flag videos for different reasons, and and whatnot. And of course, the whole marketing, or the whole marketing aspect where they were paying out, for advertising. You don't really make any money doing gun channels. I mean, it's pennies comparatively to what it costs to do videos and the time it gets spent in doing it. So if you're thinking about making a gun channel, hey, that's awesome. I support you in doing that, because we do need to have more gun content and things and make it more of a mainstream thing. However, keep in mind that if you're doing it to make money, that's pretty far and few between. There are some income streams you can set up and stuff, but all it's going to do is maybe help support a little bit of your ammo expenses and things like that. It's not going to put money in your pocket for all the effort you're going to do. If you really want to make money, you just go find an actual job, I guess.
No, nobody wants to do that.
Yeah, right. I do this because I enjoy it. I love sharing the information with people. I love trying out new products too. Don't get me wrong on that. It does open up some doors for trying out some things and whatnot. But I want to help support the Second Amendment, support the gun community. Help get that out there. There's so many people that are on mainstream media and things that get far more viewership than anything we usually do with any type of gun channel and so forth. And there's a lot of negative content in regards to the way we look at firearms and firearms ownership and things. So hopefully what we bring to people out there is something that's a little bit better in that respect, where just a different point of view on it, more positive point of view. Most of us are here for several reasons. We like to shoot guns. We like to have them for self-defense. We like to use them for sport and hunting and things like that. And when I say sport, people don't. A lot of non-gun people don't understand that there is. They think sport. They think of just hunting and killing animals and things, and that's not really the case. There's a lot of really fun sports like 3-gun and 2-gun and practical rifle and IDPA and USPSA and you got cowboy action shooting, and you got the guys that do trap and skeet, and there's a million more that I probably can't even think of off the top of my head of different what they call disciplines of sport shooting, like in different competitions and things. And plus, it's just fun to kind of go out and practice your marksmanship. There's a lot of things that go into the mechanics of firing a firearm. It's not just simple. I mean, yeah, you can pull a trigger. Anybody can pull a trigger. Being accurate and effective and efficient with that, it takes some practice and some skill. And it's fun to do this, So I feel like I'm the only one talking. So if you guys got anything you want to weigh in with, you're welcome to jump in too. The other thing I was going to mention, we'll get it more into, the aspect of the prosperity of sharing, the whole thing with firearms content and things like that in a little bit. Speaking of the sharing of that, one form is some of the clothing that we wear. And for example, I've got like this shirt from Russian Roulette Clothing, 40 Smith & Wesson. Basically, it's like the periodic table element. It's kind of a cool design. One of the cool designs they have to offer. I wanted to buy more shirts just recently, so the other night I was looking around to see what they had, and I did remember seeing one that kind of caught my eye that I thought was kind of cool that they have. And it's like a red silhouette of like or outlined drawing, I guess you'd say, of a Glock 19 mag on a black shirt. I'm like, that's pretty cool. I'd like to get one of those. So I ordered one of those and ordered one of their AK-47 waffle mags. I feel a little bit more inclined to buy something AK related because just recently purchased my first AK this year and didn't have anything else that was AK related. So I'm like, hey, this would be kind of cool. So I'll order one of these. And if you check out Russian Roulette Clothing on a store and looking to buy something, we do have a coupon code they set up for us too as well. It's just BigGunner81, all caps, all one word. I think it's 10% off, I believe. I used it the other day when I bought those T-shirts I just picked up, and definitely check them out. They got some cool different designs and stuff, and they change them from time to time and what they have to offer. So I'm going to take a sip of my water and take a second here.
You do that. While you do that, I'll tell you what I did with my weekend. I didn't even mention this in the beginning. I went to Sig Sauer Academy for their handgun 104 class this Sunday.
Awesome.
Got another 8 hours of gun class in. What a am I the only TJ? I bet you might have been up to Sig Academy. Have you or no?
I actually have not.
No,
I have not had a chance to get it. I want to. I
yeah.
do.
Dude, what a facility.
Yeah, sadly, right now my training is limited to like local instructors. I just don't get. If I travel, chances are it's for work.
Right.
So and especially with 2 young kids at home, it's hard to get away. But the day is coming when my responsibilities will relax enough to allow me the freedom to travel that far to state for something like just a training class.
Dude, it's like Mecca, man. Especially you being a 320 guy, like I got endless amounts of shit for rolling around with a Glock 19 the whole time. I mean, it was like taking a Ford into a Chevy racetrack or something. But that's a cool place.
My first, and I say real pistol. Well, technically, my first pistol was a SIG Mosquito, which really isn't a SIG. It's made by another company, but it's basically patterned off.
Isn't that an Umarex or something?
I thought it was GSG, but it's something like that.
Okay.
And by the way, side note on the Mosquito, there's a lot of people that don't like it because they jam and stuff and this and that, blah, blah, blah.
It's a 22 pistol.
Yeah, it's a 22 pistol. They can be very finicky.
It's going to jam. It's nature of the beast.
Exactly. Well, this is the cool thing. So I found, I bought that, and I think it came with like 2 mags maybe or something like that, and I bought a couple extras, but the mags are so expensive, And then I found online the other day, like there was a place selling the Sig mags for like, not the other day, I'm sorry, like probably almost a year ago at this point. Seems like the other day. It was like $13.99, I think, a piece plus the shipping on them. So I bought a couple more. But then I'm looking around and I see, hey, you can buy this Firefly, pistol. It's the same exact pistol, as the Mosquito. And it was like, I want to say the Mosquito was somewhere close to $300. When all was said and done, buying it like at Bass Pro or whatever, where I picked it up originally, because this is one of the first pistols I bought. And then the Firefly, I want to say it was like under $200 now. And I was like, and they came with a threaded barrel on top of that, the model that they were selling. I'm like, man, I kind of want to get one to have the threaded barrel, because I was looking at a threaded barrel before for the one I have now, but it's not worth it really to do it for me right now. It would just be extra money to be spent that I could spend on other things like the 50 States Project and things like that. So
that's something I'd like to see come out, though. I'd like to see a 22 conversion kit for the P320 line come out.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be cool. Definitely.
They have one. Don't they have one for the 250? I swear.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I
I'll
saw
have
that.
to look into that. They very well might. I honestly don't pay that much attention to. Like I said, I'm not a fanboy, so I don't follow every little thing that they've done in the past. I actually just recently converted to SIG anyway. Like, I know there's the one for the Glock, but it's not made by Glock, but shit, what was the name of that company that made them too?
Well, Rocket Armory sells one for the Glock.
Advanced does too. Advanced Armament, or
that's it. Advanced Armament. That was the one I was thinking of. Okay, but yeah, I'd like to see that, just like with the Sig Mosquito, where it came out with the intention of replicating the 226.
Mm-hmm.
I'd really like to see one come out for the P320. And I mean, go full bore on it. Go,
full size,
full size threaded barrel. The ability to take the Romeo 1 or an RMR type optic, like be able to deck that thing out, because the idea behind that whole changing of the platform from a full size 9mm or full power cartridge to a 22 is for training purposes. So you should have, and that's where I think a lot of those 22 pistols fall short, is you do not get all the same capabilities that you would with the full size cousin of that gun, right?
Right. When I was in their pro shop, they do remarkable airsoft replicas.
Oh yeah.
Like, I poo-pooed that, and I picked up a 320 airsoft replica, and I was like, whoa, okay.
Now, was it their airsoft replica, or was it their BB gun replica?
Okay, you know what? That's a great. I can't be certain of that. You might be correct.
I know they had the pellet rifle, because I've been waiting for in some of the competitive shooting arenas there's a bit of a very small portion of the population that uses airsoft to train in the off season. You'll see the guy. They actually even have a company that makes really small, like model size out of 16 gauge steel plates and pepper poppers and all the stuff you'd see on a 3-gun stage. And I'd like to set that up in my garage or something like that. I'd also like to use it to get my kids into it.
Yeah.
Well,
because they can shoot airsoft in my garage all day long, and I'm not going to care.
I tell you what, I want to, not to get too far away from it, but I was going to say before I get it, a little while ago, was my first pistol was that, and then I bought a P250 because the 320 wasn't out at the time, and I didn't know any better about the long, heavy trigger pull, which I really don't like. It's really my least favorite pistol because of the trigger pull, not because of the quality of the pistol. The pistol's great otherwise. My 226 was like my when I considered my real pistol that I was actually carrying and using for competition and everything. But to go out of the training part of it, you guys are just talking about. I don't know if you've ever seen like Laser Ammo. They have. I've got like their training system. It's got like basically it's got these little stands that you have batteries inside of, and it'll sense like if you shoot a laser at it, it'll pick it up and tell you do sequences and different things. And I've got like 3 of these little things. You can change the back. The actual target itself is like a paper card that's like reflective, and they have different sizes of them. So you could like stagger them throughout the house. You could buy a whole bunch of these things and set up a whole little range like in your house that's just using lasers. And they have cartridges that are laser cartridges, which will, if you get like for a revolver, for example, if you got like, 6 or 5 of them, whatever your revolver holds, you can just, click, click, click. And every time you click and the firing pin hits the little pad on the cartridge, it'll, light up for a second. Which the downside of that, of course, is if you have a fire pistol or, you have, like my 226 double single act, you don't want to have to keep cycling the action to put it into single action. So you're shooting it in double action the whole time, which is, because it doesn't really simulate how it is when you're going to be shooting competition with live ammo. Now, flip it to, there's the Cool Fire trainer. I've seen that. I haven't gotten to use one yet. I'd like to try one out. For example, I want to get one for my Glock, which, for those that don't know, it's basically from my understanding, it has like a laser cartridge built into it, I believe.
It comes out the end of the barrel. Yep,
comes out the end of the barrel, just like this little laser cartridge I would use otherwise with the laser ammo setup. But it cycles the action for you using like CO2.
Yep.
So you charge it up with the CO2 and you can just shoot it for a while until the CO2 runs out. That's pretty awesome. Combine those two systems together, and now all of a sudden you can actually practice at home with lasers with your actual firearm.
Yep.
Without using ammo and everything. It's just a really cool concept. Of course, it's not cheap. I don't know what the Cool Fire system goes for.
About $399.
How much?
About $399.
Yeah, I figured it was in the hundreds. Yeah,
but I mean, if you
$100.
think about it, if you can't afford 1,000 or 2,000 rounds of ammo a week, I mean that's not a bad investment.
It's a long-term game.
Exactly. Yeah, it's certainly going to help with your training. And I like the fact that it actually gives you. It doesn't give you identical recoil, but it gives you at least a close enough simulation, better than dry fire practice.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking about it. Pretty neat setup. I like to get one and try it out.
I like the. You guys know I'm all about innovation, so I like the Cool Fire system. I really do.
Yeah, I agree. I like the innovative stuff, and that's one of the things in this industry. When it comes down to, especially with AR-15s, let's say, you see a lot of people trying to innovate, but a lot of it's just the same hamster wheel. It's just slightly, tweaked in some way.
That's one of the reasons I quit watching. One of my big things every year, up until recently, was watching the footage for SHOT Show, and I quit watching it because it seemed like every video that everybody would do is rebuild the exact same thing. Like, how many different variations of a mag release can you come up with for an AR-15 and actually have it be an improvement? It's not an innovation. It's a regurgitation of the same stuff. It just looks different.
It's basically selling on style points for the most part.
Yeah,
it's like
that's exactly
it's more anything. But needless to say, there's a lot of great products out there. I can't take away from that. But yeah, when you talk about true innovation, there's not as many. One thing I thought was kind of cool.
It's not to take away from the quality of the product they're making, but okay, let's use the magazine release as an example, right? Okay, take factory or mil-spec mag release, and then you take every other mag release aftermarket that's bigger or longer or whatever have you, and tell me how that actually makes a dramatic improvement on the function of the magazine release from a mil-spec. It really doesn't.
Nope, it just tailors it to what you like and what fits you best.
Yeah, but with the proper training, you can get past all that crap.
What you have to do is add the word tactical in the front of the name and dynamic on the back of the packaging, and you'll sell oodles of them. That's all you have to do.
I think there's a company called Tactical Dynamic. What the heck is that called?
Shit. Sorry.
Yeah, there
goes a sponsor opportunity for you.
Yeah,
Not bad.
It's all right. No worries.
There'll be another one.
Yeah, so speaking of that too, the marketing aspect of it, sponsorships and all that stuff. One of the things I put in the title was just say no to gun bunnies. This is a loaded topic, but and some people might dislike me saying this, and some people might have other opinions, but I'll just throw this out there. So there's a lot of companies, the whole sex sells mantra, I can't even pronounce, but that's been in marketing for a long time. Basically, but you see, like you got gun bunnies who are just basically, women that are just basically paid to look pretty with the gun and so forth. But there's a lot of advertisement type stuff, and I say advertisement like in the sense of, well, not really advertisement, marketing type things like photos that are pumped through Instagram and Facebook through a lot of gun companies where they have scantily clad, dressed women or barely dressed women and firearms. And that's something that, I just am not a big fan of. There's a lot of great companies that make a lot of great products, but when that is how they try to attract people to their pages and get, a following and to help people tracks a bit from that. So I even started recently kind of going through like Instagram and stuff and kind of cleaning out some companies that just kind of go over the top with that stuff. I understand like some tasteful type things, with women in it and all that. I get that, but some of it's just kind of like trash, basically. And the reason why I bring this up is, I support women in shooting sports and in firearms ownership for everybody. I mean, I say that in the sense of, obviously, firearms are not for everybody. Criminals and different people shouldn't have them, but that's a whole other topic. I'm saying like everybody has, regardless of your gender and whatnot. So, we need, when it comes to firearms ownership and the Second Amendment and the prosperity of the Second Amendment and all that, we need as many people on that side of our, debate as possible. And when we have this type of advertisements being used with, semi-nudity, I guess is the way to put it, it really, it does shy away many women from that particular company, kind of leaves that bad taste, with the industry in general. And it's just not, the best thing. If you have to use that to sell your product, then it's like, well, what are you missing on, really? I mean, you might have some good stuff, but so that's just something I wanted to kind of share and talk about a little bit. If you guys got any thoughts on it.
I think we got to be more fair here, Rick. So, first of all, I'm trying to see how I can say this without committing, career suicide. But everyone most dudes like to look at pretty women.
It's true. It is true, and I get that. That's why it's there.
But I think we have to separate the chaff from the wheat here. So you've got a couple different classifications. So you've got, based on what on your submission, you've got companies that make maybe a substandard or an okay product that rely on that sex sells to bring attention to their company.
Yep, that's that too.
Okay, absolutely shameful, right? I, as an avid shooter and proud gun owner, will always look at the quality of a product. No matter how hot she is, no chick in a bikini is going to make me want to buy that gun if it's a piece of crap. Right. But there's two other classifications here. The second one is the girls that are not, and I think this is the truer definition of a gun bunny. The girls that aren't affiliated with a particular company or hired to be the window dressing, if you will, that will pick up a gun to promote themselves and nothing else. And I think that's what you see mostly on Instagram and Facebook and all your social media outlets.
Yeah, you're right about that. And then a lot of these companies will go ahead and take and share their posts.
Oh, too. Yeah, absolutely.
That's very true. They may not be the ones paying a model to go do video, filming or photos, but they're propagating that.
Yeah, that's free advertising to the company. What businessman or marketing director is not going to take advantage of that?
Well, Rick, you're a car guy, right?
I am a car guy. That's true, and I know there's a lot of that.
You know where I'm going with this, right? I mean, you go to car shows or you get a calendar or whatever. You see that stuff. I think for me, whatever. If a company that wants to do whatever they want to do to sell their brand or product, good on them. What bothers me, actually, I think the most is the ones that pretend the girls are, you know, they call themselves a brand ambassador or whatever, and they pretend to be like super into guns. And then just, you know, they're super into whichever company paid them last week to come out and put up an Instagram post. And they try to communicate in the space and have no clue what the hell they're talking about. That, I think, is really detrimental because it promotes the idea that, like, the physical appearance is what gives her validity to have a speaking platform where she otherwise wouldn't. I'm thinking of a few.
I'm glad you brought that up, Kent, because that kind of opens the gate for my third category, and that's the women shooters that are unfairly categorized as gun bunnies.
Oh, there you go. See,
so there are, and you want to talk about alienating a gender that's typically, stereotypically, and in reality, a male-dominated industry. You know, with regards to the consumer base, you want to shy women away from this industry. Let them try to pick up a gun. And God help them if they look good, because then they get labeled a gun bunny on, you know, for being attractive, or even the ones that mildly aren't. You know, they want to post a picture of them in a bikini, you know, shooting a shotgun in the backyard or whatever, you know, or out on the farm or what have you, and all of a sudden they're a gun bunny because they're showing some skin, but they legitimately like to shoot. Yeah, there are several girls on Instagram that I follow that are very pretty. Some already models that know how to shoot, have taken probably more classes, you know, from civilian trainers than I have. But because they're attractive or because they like to show a little bit of skin or whatever, they're labeled as gun bunnies, and that's not fair to them either. If anything, that drives other women away, because our industry's biggest problem is that we eat our own.
Yeah, I mean and like you said, showing the skin thing too. It's just like, you know, that does turn a lot of women away from this stuff.
It turns women it turns women away, but man, it turns so many guys just there.
Yeah. I mean, Corey's got a point. Corey does have a point. But at the same time, hey, more power to him. I'm mostly just jealous because if I got into a bikini holding the gun, people would run for the hills. So.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, I'm with you on that too. Yeah, absolutely.
Although for the right charity.
I mean, you know, there was
for the right charity.
Right charity.
I could.
You gotta make a shirt that says that, for the right charity.
Yeah.
Gun bunny for the right charity, right?
Yeah. You know, there was something I came across the other day on Instagram, a very popular place, I guess, company, and they were sporting a reality TV show sibling pair, I guess, sort of say, and I don't know. I mean, they're pretty famous. All their names start with K and end with Dashian.
Yeah, just say it, man. Jesus.
I mean, okay. So the Kardashians wanted to learn how to, you know, shoot and carry a gun because of the paparazzi and the all the stalkers and things like that. And Kim was so far against it, you know. And then here comes Chloe and what's the oldest younger girl? Kendall maybe. So they go and learn. Yeah. They go and learn from the best of the best. Okay, they're out with Terran Tactical and doing their things. And now I think they're totally against being able to carry a gun, like being able to have and carry a personal weapon. And I think it's mostly because of some of the things that have been happening. You know, I think that was probably filmed, you know, sometime in the summer. You know,
Corey, of all the stuff I figured you'd bring up, never did I think you'd be the guy that rolled up with the Kardashians.
Hey, I would love
to make a point. That one.
Dude, golf clap to you, sir.
Hey, I would so much rather be back in the Jersey Shore days than the Kardashians.
But you know
my God, you even got history in depth with this stuff. Good Lord, man.
Well, I think I just lost our bet, Rick. Corey takes it.
What?
I think I just lost our bet. Corey's the first one to bring him up. But so I totally thought Kent, but whatever. You get bored up there, man. I know how it is. You get 5 feet of snow on the ground. You got nothing else to watch.
We just got MTV Cribs like last year up here.
Hasn't that been off the air for like a decade? I remember.
Yeah, but the waves just got to my house, so we're all set.
Gotcha. So here's my thoughts on that. I really could care less about the Kardashians.
Yeah,
I've got so much more like actually important shit to worry about in my life. But I will say this: I have to tip my hat to them for at least going out and trying.
Yeah.
Right? Because there are so many people out on the left coast that will never touch a gun, never try to understand them, let alone, even try to read about and educate themselves on the things that they love to ban so much.
Right. They're totally against it and they haven't even tried it.
Exactly. So hats off to them for at least going out and trying it. They got with a reputable instructor, and with a bunch of female shooters. I mean, we all know that, it's well known Terran Tactical, you see that all over their social media feeds. All their female shooters, and a lot of them shred really well, and I think that probably could have intimidated them a little bit too. You take somebody that's an absolute novice and throw them into the deep end, and that can scare people away too. But at the same time, they tried it, they acknowledge, hey, it's not for me, and then they made the responsible decision. Hey, I'm just going to pay for private security that's going to carry the guns anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't like totally watched the episode.
Now he's got to start backpedaling.
Now he's backpedaling now.
I've just watched whatever Taryn and them have posted on Instagram. I haven't watched an episode.
He's over there, honey, wipe my browser history.
I don't know if you guys ever saw that movie, like First Sunday, and he's like, I don't know if I would have told that story.
Yeah, now I'm like totally going back on it, like, oh shit, I should have left.
For those who don't know what that's from, is like there's a movie called First Sunday, and like the guy was talking about how he got his name. His name was Lee John, and he's like, how did you get that name? Or he's like, well, my mom had slept with two men. One was named Lee, one was named John, and it named me after my father because she wasn't sure which one or whatever. The guy's like, I don't know if I would have told that story. So I don't know if I told a story about watching the Kardashians. Honestly,
one of the three movies Rick has seen.
Yeah, one of what? Yeah, one of three, exactly. Finally saw Red Dawn 1 and 2. The new one and the old one just recently.
But actually, I didn't even know that. I mean, I saw the pictures on Instagram from Terry Tactical's page.
Yeah.
And I knew they'd went out there, but I didn't know that they had ultimately decided against it.
I had saw that on Facebook, so I'm only quoting off what the fake news is posting out there. So right.
But I mean, hey, like I said, more power to them. I'm with you, TJ, on that one. They went out, they stepped out of their comfort zone. They went and tried it to see if they, thought it was something that was for them. And, at the end of the day, their decision's what matters. And, but they stepped out there and they made their own decisions. So
are they like back to or supporting the anti-gun stance now, or?
I don't. I mean,
you want me to call her and ask?
Yes.
Just being the student of human behavior that I often am. That's fancy speak for I'm a people watcher. I think what's going to happen is you're not going to hear another damn thing about it until it becomes a political talking point again.
Probably true.
Yeah.
So that's what's really going to happen. Is it got some reviews, it got attention. I mean, hell, we're talking about it, and I'm pretty sure not a one of us actually cares.
I don't care about it. I saw there something somewhere like a thing about the Kardashians and Terran Tactical, but I didn't watch it.
Here's what surprises me, though. Talking that whole situation, what really surprises me is I'm surprised. Wasn't it Kim that was robbed in Paris?
Yeah.
I'm surprised she didn't go out there because her armed security guard was getting a sandwich or something.
As she said,
busted it. Like
it shows a little clip of her, like when they were talking about it, that they wanted to learn how to shoot a gun, or they're going to. And, Kim said, "Why would you do that? I don't want you guys having a gun around my children. We don't have a gun in our home. Like seriously."
Yeah, you do. It's called your armed security.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, right.
but
Right.
I mean, it brings back the thing of, when Las Vegas happened in Texas, Miley Cyrus stepped out and saying it's a gun thing. There's too many guns in this country. Seriously.
Well, I mean, consider the source.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it's
a walking STD trash bag. Sorry, I have to say it just flat out.
Yes,
I love it.
All right, Corey. So you brought up Cyrus, and you brought up the Kardashians.
Hey,
Can you go for 3 and give me like one more like?
Well, Katy Perry, I don't really know.
Damn, I mean, look at you, 3 for 3. Yes.
I follow celebrity garbage because it's just awesome.
Well,
it's your guilty pleasure, huh? All right, man.
Oh God.
Well, you're in college too. I mean, Corey, you're kind of surrounded by it, aren't you? Because you actually go on campus.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a campus guru. So
to give you an idea, the last time I was on a college campus, they had just captured the DC sniper.
Wow.
Yeah,
what year was that?
2003, 2002, 2003.
Okay, yeah. I don't remember. So
yeah, I ended up finishing my degree online.
I think because they've got veterans on there. They just had like some kind of Veterans Day memorial thing for all those that have served and are currently serving. And I'm like one of the biggest like gun people on campus. And one of the presentations I did in my politics class was over the NRA as an interest group. So everybody was asking me questions on like, there was one girl that asked me questions about why are safeties disappearing from pistols. I was like, I was just like, that might be a little bit too complicated for me to answer.
Safeties are disappearing from pistols? I mean,
that's real simple. They're not.
That's not the case. I mean, so many firearms just didn't have them to begin with. I mean, pistols,
right.
like revolvers, Yeah, right.
I mean, you got the little safety mechanism on the trigger of the Glock. You got a decocker on a SIG. Right. The Rugers come with the safety. I think some Smith and Wessons go to with safeties too, don't they?
Well, they have shield. They have an internal locking mechanism.
But even like the shields have thumb safety, some of them, and some of the.
Yeah, I know some of them have the grip safeties, and then like the 1911s, they have both.
Yeah, I mean the answer is simple. Though they're not.
Yeah, that's a garbage argument.
That's not the case. They're not disappearing from it, and there's several different factors to that. Like in the sense of even with safety, sometimes people go and they pick up their pistol and they need to use it, and they don't think to turn the safety off. And,
this was coming from a girl.
This
is coming from a girl that was wearing an "I'm with Hillary" shirt. That probably has a vagina hat, and
I would have responded with probably the same way Hillary's emails disappear.
Yeah, there you go.
They don't disappear; they just get moved to where you can't see them.
And the guy who's in charge of the server gets murdered.
Yes,
suicided.
Yeah, he's suicided.
His twice in the back of the head.
Yeah.
Sounds like something Princess Diana would know all about.
Dude, your pop culture references are off the charts tonight.
I know, right?
I'm amazed.
That's because he's actually talking tonight.
Holy smokes!
Well, I don't have to study for anything right now, so I'm good.
Oh, I got you.
Damn.
Man, he did enough studying on the Kardashians, apparently.
Yeah, I know. What's funny is my grandma's brother, my great uncle, his wife knows Harry Reid and Bill Clinton and all these people. So I'm like, well, at least we know what party they side with, bastards.
Nice.
All right, we need to start a court book on Corey.
Yeah,
when he starts talking, the rest of us just shut up and start writing.
Yeah, really.
Hey, it's whatever.
Pure gold. That's what it is, Corey. God bless you.
Really.
All right. Well, now we've got the Kardashians. We got Miley Cyrus. We got Katy Perry.
We talked about gun bunnies.
Oh,
come on, keep it going.
Let's do Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Oh hell yes! Here we go. I'm gonna.
I guess we can put a ring on it, which I'm throwing like the ring off a pineapple grenade.
Oh man!
Yeah.
God help
Put
us.
it back. Put it back. Oh man, just thinking about that. Which actually,
yeah, Rick, come on, this train is so off the rails at this point. There you go.
Hey, what the hell? Looky. Oh, there it is right there. That's probably what, about a 15 millimeter?
Complaint department.
yeah, that's actually came from my friend's old business. He had a Army surplus store that when he closed it. I actually, you guys probably know. Why am I going blank? Gino from Black Rhino Concealment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that actually is his uncle's old store, and I didn't know that. I was friends with the owner of Chicago Army Navy Surplus in Downers Grove, Illinois, and he had that business for many years. And just a couple of years ago, he ended up closing it up before I moved down here, of course. And I bought most of my ammo cans that you guys saw earlier came from that store, and also that, and what else did I buy? Bought a few other things. Also, like their flag from the front of actually two of their flags that were in the front window. One of my American flags I have is like I want to say it's like an 8 by 10 or something like that, or 8 by whatever, or 10 by something. It's huge. It's a big flag that takes up pretty much a wall in this room. But yeah, it was one of those cool things that I saw for several years here and there when I visited a store, sitting like in the display case or whatever. And I'm like, I asked him when he was closing up, hey, would you be willing to sell that? So he's like, yeah. So I bought it off him. And just kind of a cool little memento from that whole scenario. And then I found out later on when I was actually telling that story about that and the flags I bought and the ammo cans and this and that. And I was talking with Gino, and he's like, "Oh, was that the one?" And I'm like, "That's my uncle." I'm like, "Oh, really? I didn't know that." So kind of cool, small world type thing.
Imagine the money you could have saved.
What's that?
Imagine the money you could have saved.
Oh no, I was good friends with Bob the owner anyway. So I mean, he always gave me a really good fair deal on stuff. Always took care of me. Really good guy. But what I was gonna say is it was funny too. Speaking of how small a world that is, so I met Gino at the range of 35 during one of the I want to say it was the first 2-gun run, but they did. And he was out there, had a little table set up with their holsters and things, and started talking with him, did a little video with him, and then sometime later, how did that all work out? I forgot. I got to know a little bit more through Facebook. I had him on the show a couple times. Ended up going to there was a Christmas party a couple years ago. I want to say a couple years. It was probably not even 2 years ago. I don't know if it was last year. I forget. They did a laser tag Christmas party out at what used to be Santa's Village in, I think, Dundee or West Dundee, Illinois. I forget wherever it was, but it's like Paintball Explosion is what the place is called now, and they have laser tag inside. And we went there. I was playing laser tag with them, and I have a video of that too. I put together and threw up on YouTube. But it's an example of how much fun there is in this industry with all the people that are in it and everything, and so forth. And that's one of the reasons why I don't want to alienate people from the firearms industry in a sense, and that's why I don't support the different advertisements and things and postings and stuff with people that are or women that are half naked, with their firearms and stuff. That's something I'm not really into, because it does kind of detract a lot of those people from that. Like I was saying earlier, my point being, we need as many people, votes, people, supporters of the Second Amendment and everything, so we can keep this going, as well as teaching the next generation of firearms owners, because just because let's say you can have an AR-15 in your home state right now or whatever, or have that 30-round magazine, doesn't mean it'll always be that way if we don't keep building that link between citizens and the Second Amendment and firearms ownership. Getting the youth involved into it and learning about firearms and firearms safety, of course, and proper respect and treatment of firearms and things like that is really key. And part of that's also, like I was saying about women being involved in that, you need to have, mothers on board with that. You need to have them interested in it and to be able to help keep that going. And, those kind of postings and things kind of push people in the opposite direction. It can create a negative connotation with it, and so forth. Granted, I know a lot of guys like that kind of stuff, and I'm not going to say that's not the case. But it's not really necessarily a positive thing for the industry in a sense overall. So,
like I said, we went over the different at least my different categorizations for the gun.
And there's different categories. You're right. I mean,
but I mean, I see what you're saying. I can certainly see how it would be a turnoff. Like, I certainly wouldn't want my daughter looking at that when she gets old enough and thinking, "Oh, I can pick up a gun and dress like a slut, and people will like me too because I'm cool with a gun." That's the absolute wrong answer. It's a bad example. But at the same time, flip side of that token, let's look. When my son gets old enough to start carrying a gun on his own, I don't want him to see a lot of the Rambo wannabes out there and start picking up a gun thinking he's going to be Billy Badass. So we have to look at both sides of that token on that one. But
that's true.
I will say, and to your point on teaching the future generations, I think where we need to start with that is teaching them self-reliance. I think the reason that the NRA has come into the light that it has is because we, as the gun owners of America, have gotten lazy and expected them to do everything for us.
True.
How many people that are actual NRA members, and I mean the diehard NRA members, that will pick up the phone and call their congressmen, call their senators on their own? I will. I just called my congressman this morning, as a matter of fact. But by and large, the individual people going out there and actually putting the work in, it's a dying sentiment.
Exactly why we need more people, and we want to keep women in it too, because we need support on both sides of that.
Oh, absolutely.
We need as many people involved as we can.
And let me do a shout out to probably my favorite female shooter, and that's Julie Golub. I don't know her. I've never met her. I follow her on her social media pages. And if you want to talk about a damn good ambassador to the shooting sports with women involvement and safety for children, that woman is doing it right.
Yep. She is the furthest from a gun bunny that there is.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, she's very pretty, but at the same time, would never even come close to lumping her into any of those three categories that I brought up.
Exactly.
She is a true ambassador of the Second Amendment, and I think a positive female role model for female shooters. If we had more Julie Gollubs in the world, there'd be a lot more female shooters, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's well said. Exactly. So, awesome. You guys got any final thoughts you want to wrap up with tonight? I'll go with Corey first. You're on the end here.
me with all my pop culture and Lady Gaga's and Kardashians and everything.
No, they don't even know about Gaga. You just brought that up in the chat.
Yeah, exactly. You mentioned that in the side chat that no one saw, and then
he's over there being all serious about Julie Golub. You got me laughing about Lady Gaga. So go on, get with it.
Corey, I'll give you $50 if you start singing Poker Face right now.
Poker Face, poker face. No, I did. I just went to, hey, $50, dude.
So you have to sing. You only did a couple parts of it.
It don't matter.
Let's not encourage it.
But anyways, guys, it's always a pleasure. To take everything funny away. I'm glad the Kardashians or several of the Kardashians stepped out of their comfort zones. It did something that they never done before. And to get comfortable and to know what it's like to actually fire a weapon. And for those people that really don't know, I wish they would go out and just try it. You know, and if it's not for them, that's okay. At least you can say that you tried. You know what it is. You know what it's like. You know how to use it. But in all seriousness, you know, I have fun on here every week, and you know, this is my last week of school for the semester, and I'm coming out, so I haven't been studying a whole lot, so I'm able to talk a little bit more now. So, but thank you for having me on every week, Rick. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. SouthernStyleBeards.com.
Yep.
Or SouthernStyleBeardsLLC.com. I forgot.
Yeah. Yep.
Has the LLC in it?
No, it doesn't. But it's literally the same thing. So.
Okay, SouthernStyleBeards.com.
Yeah,
is what I say. Okay, just figured I'd throw that out there because I always forget about it. But I was going to add something to what you had said, and I just totally went blank on it.
You probably want me to sing something else, Paparazzi or something from Lady Gaga. I don't know.
No, we're good. So, Kent, you got anything you want to mention?
For the first time in my life, I think I might be speechless, man. I think I better just get off the air before it's over. Good Lord.
All right.
GreenMountainDefense.com.
Right.
I promise never, ever to sing anything on there, I guess. I'm going to mute myself now. See ya.
All right. And TJ, if you got anything you want to mention, you're muted, by the way.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me now? You good?
Yep, we can hear you now.
All right. So backing up a little bit, reason I called my congressman this morning, for those that don't know, H.R. 38, which is the National Reciprocity Bill, is working its way through the House of Representatives as we speak. There is apparently some or groups or cliques within our Congress that want to add H.R. 4477 to this bill, which is the NICS fix bill. Okay, the NICS fix is an absolute travesty. It is nothing but a knife in the heart of the Second Amendment, completely throwing out your rights to due process and just all other sorts of garbage. So
I'm not aware of it yet because I've seen bits and pieces, but what does this exactly mean?
Okay,
break down a little bit.
So H.R. 38, national reciprocity. So just like your driver's license, if I'm here in Tennessee, if I go to California, I can legally operate a motor vehicle on their highways. If I go to New York, I could same.
No, I got
thing,
that part. I meant the NICS fix part.
Right. So we're getting to that. So
okay.
So H.R. 38, national reciprocity recognition of any other state's concealed carry permit. H.R. 4477 is the NICS fix, which improves and enhances or tightens the requirements for people being entered into the NICS system with some sort of flag on their record that could delay or prohibit entirely the passing of the background check you go through. So DUI convictions, which otherwise are not a prohibiting factor from owning a firearm. Domestic violence accusations, not even confirmation or
hearsay evidence, like
conviction, no conviction,
wow. no conviction, not
That's
even
total BS.
Not even official charges pressed.
You're just guilty because someone said you're guilty. End of story.
Right. So it completely throws out it stomps all over your rights without actual due process. And actually, Trey Gowdy has got a really good YouTube video about him grilling somebody about due process and how it impacts no other right, like the Second Amendment does, or a lack of due process, as it were. So that wasn't specific to H.R. 4477, but very similar premise and argument. So what we don't want to have happen is for 4477 to pass in any way, shape, or form. So and I watched the congressional hearing for the Rules Committee today, and it's actually kind of weird. If you listen to the argument, the Democrats actually want the two bills separated and heard and voted on their own merit as individual bills, because they don't think, for some reason, they don't think HR 38 is going to pass anyway, even by itself. But the Republican side wants HR 4477 added to HR 38, which it about made my eyes bleed. But it's on YouTube. Check it out. But it's the House Rules Committee hearing on HR 38. It's probably a 2-hour video of this hearing, and it'll make you scratch your head. But either way, I'm actually going to say I side with the Democrats on this one. I don't want 4477 anywhere near my national reciprocity bill. So contact your congressmen and representatives and tell them yes on 38, no on 4477, and any other amendment or change to HR 38 needs to be voted down. Leave HR 38 the way it is, let it pass on its own merit, and that'll be a huge win for the Second Amendment community.
No reason we can't get it done. I mean,
I think it absolutely will pass.
I think
it absolutely will.
Yeah, it's well, I mean, this could be another 3-hour-long show, but we need to fire them all and start over. But
keep Gowdy. Gowdy's the best.
Yeah, Gowdy's good shit. But keep like 10% of them, fire the rest. But anyway, yeah, good call on HR 38.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah, get out. Call your congressman. Quit waiting for people like the NRA and the GOA to do it for you.
Yep.
Get up off your ass, pick up the phone, and call them. And if they don't answer, leave a message. Check out my Instagram, Ledsling and Ginger. I've got a script that you can use if you get a voicemail. Or hell, even if they pick up the phone and you get to talk to them directly. Very simple.
Very few times that's going to happen, though. It's usually voicemail. Or it's an assistant you talk to.
Yeah, I got the assistant today. I'm going to call back again tomorrow, especially because now that I know it's only passing the Rules Committee for the House of Representatives, that means there's still time before a floor vote. So keep calling.
Cool.
Keep calling.
Corey, just call them. Corey, call them up and just like sing to them the whole time. They'll do whatever you want after about 20 minutes.
There you go.
I'm going to tell him to use that poker face
with his angelic voice. So anyway, on that note,
but that's all I got. That's all I got for this week, man.
So so we're gonna wrap this up tonight. Thank you all for watching, and as always, yes, call your representatives, your congressmen, whoever. Make sure we vote correctly on these things. And anyway, until next time, have fun shooting.